News Weekend, a proposal to dramatically alter the landscape of Maple Grove. See what could be coming to the Arbor Lakes area. Plus, one cold, very long swim.
Wow, the English Channel is a beast.
We meet the Plymouth woman who took on the English Channel. But first, a crowded classroom issue at Robbinsdale area schools. How the district is trying to fix it. 12 News Weekend starts right now. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us on 12 News Weekend. School starts in less than 3 weeks, and there is still work to be completed before the school year begins.
In the Robbinsdale district, for instance, there's a challenge of finding enough classroom space. It's a challenge that the district is trying to fix long term.
Space requirements are driven by both enrollment and then how schools and programs use space.
A packed house turned out Wednesday night for an information session on the Robbinsdale School District's long-range facilities plan.
By 2017-18, we will no longer have capacity in our middle schools as they currently are to handle the enrollment that we expect to see at that time.
Bring it back to your spot.
It's a problem that developed thanks to the legislature's decision for schools to provide all-day kindergarten. Expanded program options also contributed to the problem while the district tries to maintain smaller class sizes.
You don't want to have too many students in a class because it might impact student learning. So we want to keep it at that optimal level.
Those decisions have had consequences in the form of increased enrollment and decreased capacity, especially in the district's middle schools. Here at Plymouth Middle School, it's so overcrowded that they use every possible space for classroom instruction, which means that some teachers have no place to go between classes. But they're trying to get creative. For instance, this used to be a storage room, but it's since been converted to a very small teacher workspace. And here in the lunchroom, they'll be bringing in partitions to convert this area into classroom space as well.
So we need some added capacity, but it's a lot more cost effective to just build on another room than to spend multiple millions of dollars building a new school.
That was the message district officials tried to get across Wednesday night as they talked about a three-phase plan that involved making renovations to Plymouth Middle School, reopening Pilgrim Lane Elementary, which closed in 2009, and turning Sandburg into a middle school magnet center.
I just want to make sure that they really think that this is the right thing for students, and not just because it's space or because it's money or because it's facilities. It's about kids.
Parents will have another opportunity to weigh in on the plan during a school board listening session Wednesday, August 26th. For more information, you can go to our website, 12.tv.
In Wayzata schools, there's an effort to ramp up recycling. Last year, Hennepin County and Wayzata schools expanded a program to collect food waste in schools. This year, county officials plan to spend nearly $25,000 to add more recycling stations in Wayzata school hallways. They will also begin collecting paper towels for recycling at the high school and all 3 middle schools. Maple Grove's gravel mining area looks a lot different than it did 30 years ago.
It could look even more different if new development plans go through. Cassie Bonstrom has more on a proposal called the Village at Arbor Lakes.
There's the shops at Arbor Lakes, the fountains at Arbor Lakes, and soon this empty field will be the Village at Arbor Lakes, the last undeveloped quadrant at Hemlock Lane and Elm Creek Boulevard.
They've created somewhat of a hybrid approach here that both creates this urban feel in the middle, but also does a nice job of screening the parking.
At Monday night's meeting, the Maple Grove Planning Commission recommended approval with conditions of a proposal by Bloomington-based Doran Companies. The proposal includes 700 apartments in a gated community on the north end of the development, with a small section south of that for commercial use.
Not everybody wants to live downtown.
Kelly Doran says the luxury living space is appealing to what he calls lifestyle tenants, people who choose to downsize but want to stay connected to their community.
It will have indoor pool, outdoor pool, saunas, spas, card room, yoga room, movie theater. So a full range of amenities that really allows somebody to utilize that as an adjunct to their own dwelling unit.
The south part of the area here will be for commercial use, restaurants, hotels, maybe a small grocery store, something that the residents can walk to. Overall, the commission approved of the idea, stating it's better than many of the previous proposals they've seen. However, commission members questioned the traffic impact, specifically on Hemlock between Arbor Lakes Parkway and Elm Creek Boulevard. They've requested a full traffic analysis be conducted. Now that the Planning Commission has given their conditional approval of the project, the proposal will go to the City Council for their approval. Hopefully, construction will begin early next year. In Maple Grove, I'm Cassie Bonstrom, 12 News.
Thank you, Cassie. In our weekend review, Target's northern campus in Brooklyn Park is getting bigger while its footprint elsewhere is getting smaller. Target announced that this week it will relocate 1,300 workers from a building along I-394 to its Brooklyn Park campus. The move could happen next summer. Target plans to sell its West Campus building along I-394 at the Golden Valley, Minneapolis border. About 2,000 Target employees currently work at the northern campus. The city of Crystal is considering loosening restrictions on overnight parking. The city currently bans on-street parking between 2 and 5 a.m. unless you have a permit. Crystal is exploring ideas such as allowing street parking during non-winter months. The city is gathering resident feedback on the issue. And a new flag is flying high at Plymouth's new Veterans Memorial. The POW-MIA flag was included after local veterans noticed it was missing when the memorial was dedicated in June. The flag is positioned underneath the American flag and joins 5 other flags that represent each branch of the military.
National presidential candidates may be capturing the headlines, but there are local elections that actually get decided this fall. In Golden Valley, the field of candidates is set for mayor and city council. There are 2 candidates running for mayor, incumbent Shep Harris and former city council member Martha Mix. Voters in Golden Valley will also elect 2 council members among 6 candidates who have filed. In addition to Golden Valley, there are school board races in Brooklyn Center, Wayzata, Anoka-Hennepin, and Hopkins school districts. Coming up on 12 News Weekend, the swim of all swims. We sit down with a Plymouth woman with the goal of swimming the English Channel.
Then later in sports, Champlin Park gets an early start as practice begins for the prep football season.
But first, refreshing cool air returns. It will be much more comfortable on Monday and Tuesday.
After 2 years of construction, a new senior living community in Plymouth is open for business. Trillium Woods is a $161 million project that resembles an all-inclusive resort, offering spacious apartments, a salon, fitness center, full-service bar, and multiple dining centers. Developers hope it redefines the way seniors live and age.
We have here at Trillium Woods a life care contract, which means that we promise to take care of you for the rest of your life, including the same monthly service fee.
For these services, residents pay a one-time entrance fee between $297,000 and $1 million, on top of a monthly fee between $3,000 and $4,700. But it's gone over well. Trillium Woods already has plans to expand in the next 2 years. Well, this summer, a Plymouth woman attempted to join an elite group.
Since 1875, fewer than 2,000 people have completed a swim across the English Channel. This weekend, we meet Karen Zemlin, who has had her eyes set on the channel for the last 8 years.
When I started in this experience, I was like, yikes, this is a big task and a lot to learn.
When Karen Zemlin swims, she goes the extra mile.
If you want to do it, you have to really focus on it.
She sharpened her focus on a new challenge after watching her then 68-year-old father try to swim the English Channel.
He was doing a training swim across Lake Mille Lacs, and I knew that if I didn't do the swim with him, I would have to be on the boat that long. And I thought, well, I'm just going to do the swim with him.
Rough waves ended her father's attempt in 2007.
It's like, wow, the English Channel is a beast.
But Karen now knew she wanted to try.
That's why we decided it was kind of a priority right now. It's because it just gets harder as you age.
With her husband Tom at her side, Karen set off learning how to be a channel swimmer. She logged hours in the pool and raced on Lake Minnetonka. She swam around Madeline Island and around Manhattan. She swam through heavy seaweed off the coast of California and did an out and back swim to Alcatraz. When she came home,
I have some friends that have cabin on Mille Lacs, and they allowed me to use their cabin and train in Mille Lacs until Mille Lacs warmed up too much, and then I could just head up to Superior for the day.
Karen knew distance wouldn't be the problem, but the cold would.
The only thing that was going to keep her from getting across the channel was freezing out.
She trained for 2 weeks in Dover before setting off on July 31st for the big swim.
I'm always swimming towards France, but as the water is changing direction, so the tide is all getting pushed, the current is all coming this way, and I'm getting pushed.
She was strong through currents and even through jellyfish.
The ones you hit, you don't see. But there was plenty out there that I saw, too many to count.
But after 12 hours in the water, the cold was too much to bear.
It's getting dark, it's getting colder, it's not getting warmer. She's starting to shut down.
I didn't think I'd crumble mentally, and I didn't crumble mentally. I was going to get to France. And it was right there.
It was absolutely heartbreaking. I mean, especially because we were right there. I mean, it was right. You could see the bushes, you could see the rocks, it was right there.
Karen's support team knew she couldn't make it through the tough currents near shore.
We put a towel around under her arms and lifted her up.
Karen doesn't remember much about that moment.
She was already on the boat for probably about 5 minutes. And she said, "Don't touch me, you'll disqualify me."
And only later realized how close she came.
As she started to warm up a little bit, she all of a sudden just says, "Shoot, darn." Right,
strong and capable, to the point that a week later, before she came home,
I just see some people with swim caps entering the water, and I'm like, what? There's a swim going on?
She ended her British adventure swimming one more time.
To be allowed to try that out was a real gift.
Karen doesn't know what challenge she will undertake next. There have only been 27 successful solo swims across the English Channel so far this year. So she might have had to go through the jellyfish on her way to France, or on her way to attempt to France, but she finished off swimming with swans because there were swans on the Thames River. So
that's really
good
an inspiration.
ending there.
I barely know how to swim, so I could learn some things from her.
She is an inspiration. Coming up, we swing by the Robbinsdale Pizza Place that received national publicity this week.
But first, a former Wayzata cross-country star is featured in our The Next Level series. That's coming up in sports with Jay Wilcox.
The opening games for the high school football season are next Saturday. Monday marked the first time teams could practice. And since Monday officially started a second after midnight, that's when the Champlin Park football team took the field for their first practice of 2015. Midnight Madness is a tradition that started at Champlin Park in the late 1990s under former head coach Tim Herman. The team went through individual and team drills for about 75 minutes. Most involved loved coming out here under the lights.
And us as the kids, we love to go out there and have all our fans out there for that first practice and be under the lights one more time. It's a great time. I mean, we all enjoy it. We all love going out there, and we'd rather go more than 80 minutes if we really could. So
everybody's awake. They're pumped. You know, they get to stay out late at night, you know, and have fun with their friends.
The kids love it. It's a lot of fun and a lot of excitement. There's excitement in the air. I mean, you can just feel it. They were out in the parking lot, tailgating, cooking food and stuff like that, and it's a fun little atmosphere. So we're going to keep it going, but as I get older, I just like it more and more.
Well, he's honest. Champlin Park had a regular daylight practice Monday as well. The Rebels open the season August 22nd at home against Minnetonka. And watch for our training camp reports all next week on Channel 12 and online at 12.tv. One of the top returning prep girls basketball players from the area has made a verbal commitment for college basketball. It's safe to say she'll be hitting the books pretty hard too. Maple Grove senior number 14 Mackenzie Barta has made a commitment to play basketball at Harvard in the fall of 2016. Barta led the Crimson in scoring last season, averaging nearly 17 points per game. She was named All Northwest Suburban Conference. Though Ivy League schools don't offer athletic scholarships, the chance to go to Harvard was too hard to pass up for Mackenzie.
I started talking to them during the school year, and then I actually went out there in June. And once I went out there, it just felt like the right fit for me. The coaches, the team, they were all amazing. And, you know, the opportunity to play in the Ivy League at a high level athletically was very appealing, and you really cannot beat the academics. So.
Harvard is a Division I program in basketball. Barta has played AAU ball this summer with the Metro Stars. She has a 4.0 GPA and says she'd like to study something in the medical field. Cross-country runner and Wayzata alum Josh Thorson had a breakout season at Wisconsin Eau Claire last fall. Jason Malolo caught up with Thorson for this week's The Next Level.
Josh Thorson won the 2011 state meet title as a senior at Wayzata, and following high school, headed to the University of Minnesota to run for the Gophers. But it wasn't a good fit.
I wasn't running as well as I was hoping to. Some of that was a little bit of injury, some of that was, for whatever reason, the training wasn't really sticking in the way it had in high school.
After 2 years at the U, Thorson transferred to UW-Eau Claire. He had lost confidence in himself and was full of self-doubt.
You know, you start questioning whether it's your body, you know, basically like I started questioning whether I had such good training in high school, like maybe I couldn't have any better training, and so maybe I wasn't going to get better because that was my peak. And so it took a lot for me to start realizing that, you know, I'm still maturing, my body's still maturing, I'm still going to get better, and it was just the situation I was in wasn't allowing me to run well.
A new program, new coaches, and new teammates re-energized Thorson. Last fall, he won the Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Championship and led UW-Eau Claire to its first conference title since 1980. Thorson followed that up by placing third at the NCAA Division III cross-country championships.
The whole confidence thing was still coming into play, so that I was still surprised, because then, you know, I finally feel like I'm running really well at conference, and in the back of my head I'm going, oh, well, there it is, that's the peak. Like I've finally, the training's caught up to me, and that's the fastest I'm going to go. And so to be able to run faster than at regionals and then run faster again at nationals was very surprising.
Thorson has and always will be a runner with exceptional physical gifts, but running on the next level has made Thorson a better strategic runner. With a physical and mental game that's top-notch, Josh Thorson is hard to catch. Jason Malillo, 12 Sports.
Thorson was named Conference Cross Country Athlete of the Year for 2014. So great to see him bouncing back and really having a great career there at Wisconsin.
You really tell he studies a sport.
That's right.
Thanks, Jay. Still ahead, a different approach to pizza.
We stopped by a Robbinsdale shop that garnered some national attention. We'll be right back. Welcome back. When you think of locations for famously good pizza, Chicago or New York may come to mind.
Definitely, but according to Time Magazine, you can add Robbinsdale to the list. Pig Ate My Pizza is mentioned in Time Magazine as one of the top 10 best pizza places in the U.S. The 2-year-old pizza spot along West Broadway opened as an offshoot of Travail and has the same owners. Pig Ate My Pizza has your classics, but also an ever-changing menu of craft pizzas, including one with a deep dish, brioche crust, and pulled pork shoulder. Time Magazine describes their offerings as funky, unorthodox pies.
Some people come in, they're like, well, I don't really want a classic. I'm like, well, if you do, they're just as good. But if you're kind of adventurous, currently we have a curry pizza, so hey, try the curry. It's spicy, but it's different.
That it is. Pig Ate My Pizza also got a nod recently from Food and Wine Magazine. So I saw on Facebook, anytime you have Robbinsdale, Time Magazine, Best Pizza in an article, it's a good thing.
It is a good thing, putting Robbinsdale on the map.
And
Love
you've
it.
had it before. Pretty good.
I have. It is good. I'm actually craving it now that we're talking about it.
Definitely different. That's all the news we have for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Have a nice weekend. We'll see you Monday at 4.